Today's Wednesday, the 7th of March, 2012, and I am the Survival Prophet, and I am here today to talk about fire. Um, there are four essentials in a survival situation that you must have. There's shelter, water, fire, and food. Um, and I'm not going to go into all the variables there, but because today we're going to just talk about fire. Um, Before you can have fire, of course, you have to have a way to start your fire. Um, I have a survival kit, fire kit that I carry with me, and in it contains a couple ways to start fire. I have my rod or ferro-rod, and I have matches. I also carry some tinder in my fire kit. I carry some paper um, napkin that I wrap around my U.S. survival knife, um, and which I also use as a striker. I have matches with cotton balls and a tea light, and I also carry 2 packets of white petroleum jelly. I also have a little plier screwdriver kit, and which I use if I want to use my kit to boil some water in, or to cook some food in, or something like that. I have a way of taking it off the fire if I'm burning myself. But so in my kit, again, I carry matches, cotton balls, a tea light, which is a wax candle, and I carry a U.S. survival knife, and petroleum jelly, and my rod. So before you can start the fire, you've got to have a way to start the fire. And fire is you're able to have a fire because you need 3 components to a fire. You need heat, you need fuel, and you need oxygen. Well, we're in the great outdoors, so we have plenty of oxygen. This is going to be my heat source, my rod. And so the next thing we need is fuel. And I'm not going to use any of my tinder from my firebox today. I'm going to use the tinder I've gathered from the local area. One of the first things you're going to need is some type of dry tinder, such as grass, weeds. I picked up some of these weeds. I don't know exactly what they're called. I'll have to research that. And they've got a very fine hair on them. And what you do is you collect your tinder. Then you have your kindling. Your kindling would start out with small sticks, dry sticks, and then once your fire is burning pretty well off of your dry sticks, then you go to your finger-sized dry sticks and larger, and you just build on these 3 fuel sources: tinder, small kindling, medium-sized kindling, and of course then you go up to your larger kindling. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to take your tinder and you want to build what is called a bird's nest. And what you do is you kind of shape that into a little nest. You can also use dry leaves as a tinder to help fuel it, which I have plenty here. And then once you got your bird's nest, you take your ferro rod, and you take whatever you're going to use for a striker. Online you can find these ferro rods anywhere from, on eBay, from $3 plus shipping all the way up to $20-some for a complete kit. Again, I'm just going to use natural material with my ferro rod. I like the ferro rod because you get thousands upon 3,000 strikes off of a ferro rod. It works when it's wet. You know, it doesn't, if it falls in the water, you can pick it up and strike it. And you know, I prefer these over matches or a lighter. You know, your matches get wet and they're no good to you. Lighter runs out of fuel, it's no good to you. I mean, yeah, you can get a lot of strikes out of a lighter, but in certain conditions a lighter won't work either. If it gets wet, or if you're at a high altitude in a mountain, it might not work. I like the ferro rod. It throws off a very high heat spark, and it'll catch dry tinder on fire fairly easily. And you know, of course, you got to have a striker. So usually, if you buy a ferro rod, I just bought the rod and put a little. I taped down a little handle, and then I use my knife that I keep in my kit as a striker. But a lot of times they'll come together with a little handle and a little metal striker that you can keep together, and so that way, every time you have your ferro rod, you got your little striker right there, and you can just use it to strike your tinder. So once you got all your tinder and your kindling together, and you made your little bird's nest, you're ready to go ahead and take your ferro rod and your metal striker, and you go to town. Now, there we go. See how easy that is? And then you just go ahead and you add your kindling. Whoa, that's getting burning fast. Alright, and you get that going. That was pretty fast, pretty easy. And if we can keep it going. See what I mean? These ferro rods were great. Of course, you got to have the right tinder. You got to make sure it's dry grass, some kind of really dry leaf. You can crumple them up. Alright, see, it's burning pretty good. And you just continue to add. You continue to add your kindling. And then you go actually, once you get that coal base, that hot coal base going, you can start adding your bigger coal, your bigger kindling. And pretty soon you have a nice fire going. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you, since I have a few more minutes, how to use the cotton ball and some petroleum jelly, how to start a fire as well. Also, the paper towel, you can shred that up, and that makes a good tinder as well for starting fire, like I said earlier. But as you can see, the fire's burning well. Took just a couple strikes from my striker, and voila, bigger kindling starting to burn. And you can continue to add that, if you like, as you build your fire. Some people, they like to make a little teepee out of their fire and kindling and having it all together, you know, when they start the fire. I used to do the teepee method, but after a while it just becomes too much work. So you just get your supplies together and start your fire and start adding your kindling to it. And before you know it, you're able to boil water, cook your food, and keep warm, and ward off any wild animals with fire so they don't bother you at night. And as you can see, we got a nice little fire going. Okay, while that's burning, I'm going to go ahead and show you the cotton ball fire. Again, the principle's the same. You take your cotton ball, kind of puff it out, make your little bird nest out of it. Okay. You take some petroleum jelly, and you open it up. And you squirt some of that out on it. Okay. And you just kind of fold it in on itself a little bit. Get yourself some tinder handy. Get your striker. Oops. Gotta be careful. There it goes. It's fire. And then you just add your kindling, or your tinder, I mean. Tinder is the dry, grassy, leafy stuff. Your kindling is your little sticks. Dry sticks, of course. Now what's great about using the cotton ball with the petroleum is that it will burn for a couple minutes. So if you have, say it's been raining and you've collected some tinder, dried, or not dry, but you know, old sticks like this, small, even tinder, that's kind of wet, you have more time to dry it out and burn it at the same time. Burn it, and dry it out at the same time with the cotton ball. And again, oxygen. You need heat, fuel, and oxygen. And there you go. Your fire just a roaring away. Alright, I'm the Survival Prophet, and remember, faith without works is dead. So put your little fire kit together, or you can go on eBay and you can find very affordable fire kits, starter kits, and practice the skill. Faith without works is dead, so get going. Have a great day.